All right, guys, so if this is your first time, I'm Coach Gaglione. This is Gaglione Strength. I've been involved in powerlifting strength coaching since 2006. It was my first contest. In my first meet, I jumped the squat command, so this is why we're going to go through the rules here. So how many people is their first contest? Raise your hands up high. Excellent. So just a couple of things that's going to be really important, and we go through the rules. If I'm not clear on anything, just please, you can stop me at any point. Big thing is going to be like understanding the commands, just understanding some of like the major kind of infractions. And today we're doing the bench press. A couple other housekeeping things. If you guys have people that are spectating and things like that. So the second half of the event is going to be a breast cancer fundraiser. So if you want to do the bench to reps portion, just let Danielle know in the front when we go in the other room. The donation link, we have a special donation link that goes directly to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. So if you want to donate specifically for them, the link is in my Instagram for our donation page, okay? I'll kind of say a little bit more about the breast cancer stuff once we get started, but for right now, I just want to kind of go over the actual rules for the sanctioned meet. So you must wear a one-piece suit. So everyone's got a singlet, which is great. In terms of what you're allowed to wear, I don't think anyone's wearing a belt, but you can wear a belt if you like. You can wear wrist wraps if you like. In the RPS, you don't need to take your thumb loops off. But in every other federation you do, so if you're going for some sort of record or you just want to kind of get ready for other like higher level competitions, I would just kind of get used to some federations you can't even have like the wrist wrap touching the bar, they'll red light you for that, so just you won't get red lighted here. I just want you guys to just understand that those are some rules in other federations if you do compete outside of RPS, if you do compete outside of Gaglione Strength. Also, RPS does not require like any footwear or anything like that, but again, I don't think anyone's benching barefoot here today, but again, in other federations, you have to wear some sort of like kind of shoe for bench, squat, and deadlift, okay? So that's kind of equipment stuff. If someone does need some chalk, you will not need chalk on your back for our bench. It's a very kind of grippy pad. But if you need chalk for your hands, if your hands get a little sweaty, you're a little nervous, it's like you get a little warmed up, that's fine. We do have a chalk bowl over here, which we'll take out. I just ask that you keep the chalk in the bowl or on your hands and then nowhere else, okay? So keep the gym clean. So you can use chalk to help assist in your grip. In terms of, that's really all you need to know about in terms of like lubrication and adding other kind of things to, so you don't put any chalk in your back, you don't need that. If you are having some issues with grip, that's the sound of my mama is here, so she always lets everyone know. We do have some bar grips shirts on for sale, so this is a grippy material, which even helps your bench even more. We do have a couple of larges and XLs left. If you guys are interested, you can also see Katie or Danielle. Those are $40. Those can assist in competition. Those can assist in training, especially if you train at a commercial gym that doesn't have a grippy pad. So that's a good like investment. That's something I like to wear when I train in heavy. So that's kind of equipment. I think we're kind of good with any questions on equipment. Pretty standard. Once we kind of let's kind of get started with the rules. So we're gonna just go through. We're gonna go over here. So you're gonna set up on the bench. A couple of things that like are common infractions is the butt coming up. So if I see daylight, that's no good. Now in the RPS, you can bench with your feet tucked, you can bench with your heels down, but whatever position you start in, you must finish in. So if I start like this and then I kind of slide, that's no good. If I start here and then I lose my footing, or I change my footing after the start command, that's also no lift. So whatever position you elect to start in, I personally bench flat-footed like this. You can arch as much as you want. The elbow depth thing is not a rule except in the IPF in 2023. So it doesn't matter like where your elbows land. You can arch as much or as little as you want. Okay? So once you take the bar out, we're looking for a straight arm. So if your elbows are kind of bent like this, you will not get a start command. You need to have your elbows straight. If your spotter or handoff man, which we'll get into in a second, if your handoff man is still behind you, or their hands on the bar, you will not get a start command. Okay, if you need a lift off, one of our, like Brad will give you a lift off today if you don't have a handler. If you do have a handler, after you get the handoff, they need to vacate the area, and then you'll get the start command once the bar is stable and motionless and your elbows are straight. Another thing that you need to have your butt in contact with the bench when you receive the start command. But your butt can be off the bench when you take it out. So if my butt can be off when I take it out, but it needs to be down before you start the lift. Once you receive the start command, you can start to bring the bar down. Once you make contact, I'm looking for the bar to be motionless. So if the bar is dancing, you will not get a start command. It's not about pausing for a length of time. I'm not going to hold you down there for a while. But what I am looking for is control. So if the bar is dancing, if the bar is sinking, it's going to feel a little slower because I'm waiting to see control. Once I see control, in the rule book it says the bar must be motionless. I'm going to say press. Once you start the press, the bar must continue to come up in a continuous motion. It can stall. It can't dip down. It can come up uneven, but it must lock out simultaneously. So if I see the center of the bar dip down at any point, that's going to be a red light. So again, the most common faults: butt's coming up, foot slipping, downward motion, missing commands. Start, press, rack. You have the beautiful press. If you throw it back in the rack, that's also a no lift. Okay? Those are the most common faults. If you hit the uprights inadvertently, that's okay, but just make sure you if you use the uprights for leverage, that's also an infraction. That's pretty rare, so just make sure you come out. I think that's kind of the basic stuff. If you're handing off, you're going to hand off, give it to the guy, and then you're going to step off to the side. Okay, you need 2 out of 3 judges to give you a white light for it to lift to count. Those are our bench press rules. For the